What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the back six of the Victory Trilogy Challenge that occurred in July in Macomb, Illinois. You're watching Long-Winded Pro, and this is my coverage of my card. We have myself, my brother, Avery Lejeune, and James Johnson on the card. Huge shout out to my sponsor, Disc Golf America. Go check them out. So James and I are kind of duking it out at the top. Robin is struggling back, and Avery fell off a little bit, but he's been so close to some really, really good birdie putts. A total, like a difference of 1 foot over 12 holes, and he could be looking at being really close to Robin. Throwing my Sapphire, got it a little high, pushed the ceiling, which is what you want to do if you want to get close to the birdie. I got really lucky. A similar shot could easily just have gotten kicked down. James, the lefty, this plays relatively hard for the turnover, and he gets the disc a little low and crashing into the hill. That'll be a tricky run for the par. Robin also getting his disc a little bit high and hyzering out to the left. That should be a pretty good up shot for par. Avery throwing the sidearm. Going for a lot of hyzer to make up for the turn on the disc, and he had nice velocity on it, but just got kicked down. Going tomahawk, you can't really see, but it probably slid up closer to the basket. Also on the hill is James, lefty, dead straight. He's got a little bit more room on the left side, so he's going big Anheuser flex, and that is just a great shot from there. That is not an easy shot to pull off, and he just shows off his really great scramble skills once again. Robin's approach just gets caught up in the tree. Otherwise, that looked pretty good. Avery for par, just missing left. And here's where I am for my birdie shot. I'm circle 2, but I've got some low-hanging branches, so this has to be a really direct jump putt line in order to get close to the basket. I clip the trees and just miss low. That might have gone in were it not for the trees, but I'm happy with the par on this hole. James showing off his quality putting again. He has been really good. He had some misses a couple holes ago, but he really has shown off a really solid putt throughout this round. Avery with the flippy putt and just bouncing in after hitting band. He'll get a bogey. I'll tap in my par. And we'll move on to hole number 18. This is a hole everybody wants. It's right there. Not exactly a quality hole 18. Super close. Definitely a must-get birdie. And an opportunity for an ace that you don't really get on a lot of these holes. Going with my EMac Judge, kind of putting it on some Anheuser. It kind of flexes out. It looks great, but it just pushed deep. That's going to be an edge of circle 1 putt. With the branches, it is hard to miss long on that line. James throwing low again, but it looks like he just got over the plants. He should be putting for birdie. Robin also with the EMac Judge. Just early releasing that, kind of slipped out. He'll be able to save par. Avery with a great looking sidearm, and he just had to miss that tree. Otherwise that disc was going to spike and he would be looking at a tap in birdie. Robin's approach, parked for the par. Avery has this tree in the way for birdie, and so close. That's another 2 inches to the right, and that's falling into the bucket for a birdie. He has just been so close on so many of those putts, and he's just had some bad breaks. Edge of circle 1 for me. I got it a little too high. I'll be taking my par. James slid up to a really great spot. He gets the birdie. Avery going for a 15-foot turbo, and that's a great putt. He's got a really fun way of putting, and super solid when he goes with the overhand approach. Tapping in my par and Robin tapping in his. James with the only birdie on the card, definitely want more, and that puts him one stroke closer to me. Robin stays at +7. Definitely getting a little bit close down to the wire. These next holes are relatively easy. None of them are super score separator holes. This one is a really soft par 4, straight down the middle. This plays is closer to a par 3. If you can get a 2, it feels like an eagle. The aggressive play is up the middle with something straight, kind of get some turn and then some late fade. And that's what I'm going for with my Warship. I don't get enough turn. It's pushing the ceiling again, but it looks like that's a decent position. That got me about 250-ish, 300 feet down the fairway. Easy 3 from there. Robin going up the middle, the aggressive play, and his Sapphire has been super stable the entire round. If that got more turn, he would definitely be looking at a super quality putt. As it is, though, he did push really far. Avery just getting a little bit over on his Sapphire and got one of the weirdest rolls, rolling up the hill and then back down the hill. And yeah, it looks like we missed James's shot. He did have the box because he got the lone birdie on the previous hole. Looks like he hit a tree early. He's got this line up on the left side, which is super gutsy. And as the lefty, he just absolutely pures it. That's a great shot from there to keep pace with where I'm at. He should be able to save his 3 from there, especially with how solid his putting has been all around. Here's Avery. He's got this nice framed up gap. He needs a lot of Anheuser on this Warship. Looks like he got the right angle, but just a little bit of an early release. That's a long bid for the birdie. Here's me with the big jump putt, trying to give it a soft bid. I do put it basically under the basket, so I'll keep pace with James. That needs to sit. That ditch is a tricky spot. There's some bad footing there, and it is about 15 feet behind the basket, so that could turn into a tester. This is Robin's drive, which is absolutely insane. He ends up in a similar spot as Avery. An absolutely beautiful shot from James to get him to this point. This is probably about 30 feet, and he cashes it. That's an excellent putt to save his 3. I just snuck it in for my 3. Avery will be putting for 4, and Robin will be putting for 3. And that putt has gotten him some strokes on the field. Well, at least strokes on the field from his putting position. And now we have a disc review.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Like I have done in the other videos, I'm going to take 60 seconds to quickly review one of the discs of the Trilogy set. This time I'm going to be reviewing the putter, the EMac Judge. This thing is a 2-speed, 4-glide, 0-turn, 1-fade disc. I believe those numbers are accurate. And this comes in the Eco Plastic. The disc itself doesn't feel bad. It kind of fits nicely in my hand with power grip, but the bead is not my favorite. And so putting with this thing, I just wasn't getting a very clean release out of it. And I just haven't come back to this disc. I know it's a super popular disc, and since it doesn't work for me, I was going to give this away to one of you guys. So if you're interested in winning this disc, head over to my Instagram page at LongWayToPro, and you can possibly win this for yourself. All of the directions are on a post there. Head over there if you're interested in winning this thing. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see if I can take down this Trilogy challenge. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so as I was saying about Avery's putt before the disc review, it's really cool the way it's just basically a straight line from his hand to the basket. There's not really a chance for it to fade, and then it's just going to fall right into the chains. It's a really, really interesting putt, and super solid for him. Here's James throwing his Sapphire, gets it a little too overturned, especially with that little tree kick. He's going to be par at best from there. Or at least looking at a long approach, I should say. So still looking at a one-stroke difference between me and James. I'm looking to capitalize. This is my Warship, nice flex line, and scooting up to the basket. That is parked. That puts the pressure on James to make the next putt. Here's Robin throwing his, that looks like his Sapphire, and that got a little stable. Well, maybe that's the Warship. That's a long putt for his two. Avery going with the Anheuser forehand. This worked really well for him on hole 9, and that puts him in a decent putting position on this one. Okay, so James is closer than I thought he was. He was in a very similar position on hole number 12, and he hit the cage. So he has been all over the basket from basically everywhere. So he is definitely capable of making this putt. And that's a solid upshot. It looked good for a second, but it just needed more power. Robin went deep of the basket, so maybe he did throw the Sapphire. He's got this framed up putt. Just got a little too high. Should have the easy 3 though. Avery from about edge of circle 1. It looks like it's a little too far for him to be comfortable with the overhand putt, and again, so close to getting the putt in, but he'll have to settle for a par. Robin for a par, James for a par, Avery for a par, and then I will be tapping in my birdie to open up a 2-stroke lead over James. Nice epic angle there. Robin at +6, myself at +1, Avery at +13, James at +3. 2-stroke lead for me. Robin has been getting it together in the last couple holes as well. At this point, I didn't know where the scores the rest of the challenge were. They're in my Warship. And I thought I was out of it, but as it turns out, when I got back to the Tournament Central, the scores were a lot closer up at the top than I anticipated. So I actually may still be in it at this point. James throwing low again. That happened on a couple holes earlier in this video as well. But he's got really good scrambling abilities from the hill, so he should be able to get that one close. Robin fortunate to hit a tree, otherwise he would be at the bottom of the hill. Again, Avery moving pretty fast. I don't see where that lands, but that looks like it should be pretty good. James. Easy pitch up hyzer. Robin's got this open look at the birdie, but hits the tree. That is, don't know how he hit that tree, but you know, it happens. Avery pitching up, should have the par. Robin for his par, hits band, misses to the right. Myself for birdie, this is just edge of circle 1, if not a little bit outside. Have not been able to get these putts close so far in the round, and I wanted the putter to act more overstable because it had been acting that way, but it was super straight on that release. And that might also be my putt. I had to kind of retool my putt a little bit after this round, and James, solid putt. Manages to save the par from a unforgiving position. Avery for par. Here's my putt for the par.
No one says that about me either, Avery.
and Robin will be tapping in his bogey. Okay, so it looks like I got the strokes wrong on that one. Robin did get a bogey, so I think he should be at 61 strokes instead of 60 strokes. And I still have a 2-stroke lead on James. I started the tournament, I believe, at +5, and I've managed to fight back to +1, looking to finish even on the tournament. Hit the last tree, but that should still put me in circle 1. James needs something good to have a chance, and he just clips the tree. Fortunate tree, though, because I think that could have been booked for the road. Avery moving fast and gets a really nice flight out of that. Just needed a tiny bit more distance, but he should be putting for the birdie on this last hole. Here's Robin. Gets it nice and low, good hyzer release. That should skip and kind of curl up right next to the basket to give him a good final hole. Definitely within James's reach, and the tree, I think, definitely played a role in how much that putt missed. Avery putting for 2. That tree definitely made his putt uncomfortable. And this is where I ended up putting for my birdie. The straddle putt was helping me a little bit more with accuracy, and that allowed me to finish strong with that 25-footer. Avery tapping in his 3, James will be tapping in his 3, and Robin is putting for 2. So final score, I ended even par, which tied me for 5th in the entire tournament. It was a really great time playing with some really great people. James was so fun to play with, just showing off all the lefty lines. Avery is another person who I love playing disc golf with. My brother, you know, great people, so much fun. I had so much fun at this tournament. Definitely play a Trilogy Challenge, guys. It is a great time for, yeah, just so fun. Final scores, I finished at even par. James at 60. Robin, I think, is actually at 63. Avery at 13. He played super solid in the back 6. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Stay tuned for future uploads.